Alright, ladies and gentlemen, it's time to listen to a grown-ass man complain about his toys. Jokes aside, over the last few days, LEGO has announced its August 2025 wave of LEGO Star Wars sets. And like any announcement, it's gonna be filled with reactions, whether good or bad. And the LEGO Star Wars community is no stranger to controversy. There's pretty much a controversy every time LEGO announces new sets. But this wave in particular has stirred up quite the amount of bantha poodoo. Because oh my Grievous, are these sets wildly overpriced. So overpriced, in fact, that a channel with 15 subscribers that hasn't posted a video in years is now going out of his way to complain about toys. What a world we live in. So let's take a look at the newly announced sets and try to get a picture of why people are this upset. Because, man, this is bad. Starting off with the smallest set of the wave, we have 75431, the 327th Star Corps Clone Troopers Battle Pack, which retails for $45!
What? What the fuck?
Last year, we got a very similar set to this. You got 4 Clone Troopers, 5 Battle Droids, and a bunch of builds for $30.
Nice.
This set comes with 4 Clone Troopers, only 3 Battle Droids, and some builds. So, if anything, this set should be the same price as the other one. Maybe even cheaper, considering the fact that you get less in this set. You do get a brand new pauldron piece in this set for each Clone Trooper. So maybe that's the reason why LEGO decided to take 2 Battle Droids out of the set. But if that's the logic we're using here, this set should only be $30. Where did the $15 price increase come from? And for those of you who believe this is due to tariff pricing, the Night Trooper Battle Pack came out recently, and that had tariff-adjusted pricing of only an additional $3. So where LEGO is adding another $15 onto this set, where they got that number from, I have no idea. Which is a shame, because I know a lot of people have been waiting a long time to get the 327th in LEGO, and they went the extra step to give them those pauldron pieces. They're still missing their wastegapes, but that extra pauldron piece is a really great step in the right direction, and LEGO just went and ruined it by tacking an extra $15 onto this set. Like, I remember as a kid, I could walk into a store with my allowance money and buy a battle pack. I guess those days are over, because now buying a battle pack is more like a planned expense. $45 is ridiculous for this set. LEGO really needs to consider lowering the price, because it is just such a shame.
We shall be robbed and crunched.
Next up, we have set number 75414, the Force Burner Snowspeeder. And the last Snowspeeder we got was $40, so you think this set would be somewhere around $40, maybe $45 with tariff pricing, I don't know. But no, this is yet another $15 price increase, as this set is set to retail at $55 US. Oh boy.
Well, that smells stinker-whiff.
Now, this set in particular, I'm personally not too excited for. I'm not crazy about the Rebuild the Galaxy sets. I did get the Jedi Bob set and the Dark Falcon because I thought the minifigure lineup was pretty cool. But this set, other than the Duros guy, I'm not really too excited for anything included. The new cockpit piece is interesting, and I would like to see that on an actual Snowspeeder in the future. But other than that, the set doesn't really have anything that really appeals to me in it, so I'm probably going to be skipping it anyway. But the price on top of that, yeah, no. I don't think any Snowspeeder is worth $55 unless it is like a UCS upscale model, and I think, a UCS set would be much more money than this. I don't think this set is worth $55 at all, and combined with the fact that it is a rather niche concept, I don't think it's going to sell well. So I wouldn't be surprised if we saw this set on sale fairly quickly. Next is 75432, the V-19 Torrent Starfighter. And man, has it been a long time since we've seen a V-19 from LEGO. I believe the last one came out in 2008. And yeah, this is another set that's $15 more than it should be. I do think the minifigure lineup in this set is rather good. You get
Abby! Mr. So smiling to see in you, sir!
a really nice, realistic version of Clone Wars Obi-Wan and Asajj Ventress. And it only took them over 20 years, but we finally get an accurate Phase 1 clone pilot. Really cool to see him here. Like most LEGO Star Wars sets nowadays, this is obviously a downsized model from the original. That's just how LEGO does things nowadays. I don't see them changing it. This is just how they do things now. And for a downsized set, I think it looks okay. Obviously, it's going to have stickers. As much as I hate them, they'll be here. But where the set is really ruined is at that $65 price point. This is just yet another set that has a random $15 price increase on it. And I just don't get it. And to be honest, I would be really excited for this set if it wasn't for the price. I just can't see this set in its downscaled size selling at $65. It's just kind of crazy to me. It should be a $50 set at most. And even at $50, I'd probably still wait for a sale. This whole wave sets are just so overpriced. Next up, we have 75433, Jango Fett Starship, known to normal people as the Slave 1. Now, this is the play scale version of the UCS set that we got earlier in the year, except this guy comes with 3 minifigures instead of 2. We get Jango with no arm printing, which means the Jango with arm printing in the UCS set remains exclusive. People who were complaining about that with the Captain Rex minifigure and the Microfighter, I guess you guys win. Those of you who want the best figure no matter what set it is, I guess you lose. We also get the same goofy looking Bulba that we got in the UCS set. But then the real star of the show here is Lama Su.
Ah, Mori.
There's nothing I love more in LEGO Star Wars than cool looking aliens with unique head molds. Awesome figure. And the build is another downsized playscale starship. Nothing too crazy here. Other than the price. $70! Are you kidding me? The Boba Fett version of the ship that came out a few years ago, I believe, was somewhere around $50. But 70? Are you kidding me? And just to point out, this is now the 4th set of the wave that is $15 or more overpriced from where it should be. However, I would love to stop complaining here. I would like to say that $20 overpriced is the most overpriced thing that we got in this wave. But like Master Qui-Gon once said,
There's always a bigger fish.
and unfortunately, the next set exemplifies this to an extreme degree. That is set number 75413, Republic Juggernaut. If you're unaware, in universe, this vehicle is called the Juggernaut. The name Turbo Tank was invented by Hasbro to get around some licensing issues with other toys, and LEGO adopted the name from them. And this, for a lot of people, was the most anticipated set of the year, including myself. And that's because this is the set that introduces for the first time in LEGO form the Galactic Marines, the 21st Nova Corps of the Grand Army of the Republic. And man, have I wanted these guys ever since I was a little kid. And I think LEGO did a pretty good job with them. We get Ki-Adi-Mundi, we get Commander Bakara, and we get the Galactic Marines. And despite not having waist capes on the clones, I think they look pretty good. And it's a really good reason to be excited for this set. Awesome minifigure lineup. What could go wrong? Well, the first thing that went wrong is the build. When this set first got leaked, everyone thought it was going to be a UTAT build, because that's what's in the scene in the movie, and it's a turbo tank. And my problem with this build is that I think the turbo tank is a poor choice to downsize a vehicle. I think at this scale, it just kind of looks silly. It doesn't look as good as the old ones. And I think at this scale, a UTAT just would have looked a lot better. So I do think it is a bit of a missed opportunity here by LEGO putting a turbo tank in this set instead of the UTAT. However, that is a small problem compared to this set's major issue. And that is its price. Being that this set is similar in size to some $140 sets that we've gotten in recent years, we would expect that this set would be somewhere around that price point. This set does have 200 less pieces than the ATTE and Coruscant Guard gunship, so you would think that maybe it would be a $120 set, somewhere around there. No. This set is a mind-boggling $160. A set that has 200 less pieces than two sets that retailed for less money than this set at a similar size. It's what? What are you doing, Lego? Oh my lord. It makes no sense. This pricing is awful. This has to be one of the most overpriced sets in the history of LEGO Star Wars. This set might not only be one of the most overpriced LEGO Star Wars sets of all time, it might be one of the most overpriced LEGO sets of all time. This is awful. And it is such a disappointment to see such a horrid price on such an anticipated set. I want to make something very clear to LEGO. This is a price that is so bad that it hurts your brand.
This is very, very bad.
But there is one thing I will applaud LEGO for doing here, and it is, because their price is so bad, they actually managed to unite the LEGO Star Wars fan base and get them to universally agree on something. For once, I do not remember the last time the LEGO Star Wars fan base has universally agreed on anything, but LEGO's price here was so bad that everybody is shit-canning this set. So congratulations, LEGO. Everybody agrees that your prices suck. And now, not as egregious as the turbo tank, but still pretty bad, we have set number 75435, Battle of Felucia Separatist MTT, which also retails for $160. Oh boy. Now this set does have more pieces than the turbo tank, and I think the MTT build is far and beyond better than the turbo tank build. However, we are still way off that $140 price point that the ATTE and the Coruscant Guard gunship were at. And those were sets that had 100 more pieces than this. And that's a shame, because this set was also highly anticipated. That's because it comes with Ayla Secura. For the first time in LEGO form, we get Commander Bly, who doesn't have his waist cape, but other than that, it's really cool to get him. And then we get a whole bunch of battle droids, including the return of the Commando droid. These guys are in pearl dark gray instead of brown, which I don't think is accurate, but I'm not gonna lie, I kind of like it. However, at the $160 price point, I just find it so hard to get excited for this set. It's just such a bad price. I don't know what kind of money-grubbing troll LEGO has running around their headquarters making these absurd prices, but they need to take that guy and throw him in the Rancor pit, because as I said earlier, these prices are so bad, it's hurting the brand. And the last set that I'm going to talk about today is set number 75417, UCS ATST Walker. And I know there's at least two other sets releasing on August 1st, that being the buildable Ewok and the buildable K2SO. I'm not talking about those because the K2SO has been revealed for a while, and we don't have much information on the Ewok yet. I do think it's interesting that we get a UCS set in the summer. I don't think we typically get that. And I think this ATST looks really good. I think it's a great model. Personally, I'm not really into oversized LEGO Star Wars vehicles. I like stuff that's either at play scale or at minifigure scale. So the oversized stuff doesn't really do it for me, so I don't think I'm going to be getting this set. So this set isn't really something I'd be interested in, but I think a lot of people are going to be really happy with this set because it looks great. Comes with one ATSD pilot who has arm printing, which is pretty typical for the UCS stuff. But just like the other sets in this wave, it is overpriced. And this one, I think LEGO could have gotten away with $175 and no one would have really blinked an eye. Maybe some people would have complained at that price point, but $200 is just a little bit too much in my opinion. This is one that I think you should wait till it goes on sale. So not the most overpriced set of the wave, but still overpriced nonetheless. So overall, if we're not really paying attention to the prices of these sets, I think this is a really cool wave of LEGO Star Wars sets. We get a lot of new minifigures that we've never gotten before. We get some new versions of some very overdue playsets. And aside from the turbo tank, despite the downsizing, I do think most of the models here are pretty good. But what baffles me here is LEGO's decision to just overprice the entire wave. This wave of LEGO Star Wars sets could have gone down as one of the best waves of Star Wars sets in recent memory, if not of all time. But LEGO just could not help themselves. They saw the excitement for the 327th Star Corps and the Galactic Marines, among other things, and they just jacked up the price to a ridiculous amount. And because of that, I don't think these sets are going to sell well. If you are interested in these sets, I highly discourage you from buying them at day one or near release. As a community, we kind of need to send LEGO the message that prices like this are not going to be tolerated by the community, and we need to kind of have a collective agreement as a group that we are not going to pay for prices like this. But even in spite of the prices, I know some people are still going to rush out day one and buy these sets no matter the price. To those people, I don't understand you, and I don't like you, and I hope you have a bad day. For the more reasonable LEGO Star Wars fans, wait for a sale. Don't get caught up with FOMO and go buy these sets. I believe these sets will be on shelves for at least 1.5 to 2 years, so you'll have time to find them at a discount at a later date. My hope is that LEGO will realize their mistake with the prices here and roll back those prices either sometime before release or most likely sometime after release. I personally will not be buying any of these sets near release at these price points. I'm going to wait for a sale on most of them. The turbo tank specifically is going to have to be heavily discounted for me to pick it up, because I can't justify buying that set, even with the Galactic Marines, at that price point. It's just that bad. And that, my friends, is all the complaining I feel like doing tonight. Let me know what you guys think about these price points in the comments down below. Do you like these sets? Are you excited for the minifigures? And what crazy jobs are you guys going to have to take on to afford these sets? Because I know I'm not going to be able to afford them unless the Galactic Senate deregulates my bank account. Thanks for watching. Have a great night.